You expect me to talk?
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Written by Bruce Firestein, directed by Roger Spottiswoode, 1997's Tomorrow Never Dies. As I said, my approach of talking about these films is more to celebrate them than to actually review them. I love to talk about what's great about those films, I love to talk about what I think is great about those films, and I got some criticism for this, fair enough. Some said it's a little boring, not talking enough about the flaws of the films. Someone even said, who needs this? Who needs another guy reviewing James Bond movies? And I replied, I needed it. It's as simple as that. I needed to get it all out, to talk about it, so... Yeah, but I get it. Some people like a little rant, and this maybe will come close to a little rant, you know, because it's my least favorite film in the series for many reasons, and I can't wait to talk about it. Came out in 1997. You know, I'm of the generation GoldenEye was my very first Bond at the cinemas. So that was very exciting. It was an exciting time. It was a glorious comeback, in my opinion. Loved everything about it. And 2 years later, when this film came out, I remember walking out of the cinema a little disappointed. It didn't feel as glamorous to me as the other movies did. I was kind of bored with the film. And back in the day, I wasn't thinking a lot about why that is. Of course, later in life I did, and now I get it. I know why I felt that way back in the day, and I still feel that way. You know, the plot of this film, starting with the plot, it's pretty much a copy of older Bond films. It's A Spy Who Loved Me, You Only Live Twice, and even From Russia with Love. You know, an outside force, in this case, it's Elliot Carver, the media mogul, played by Jonathan Pryce. He's, you know, manipulating two superpowers to go against each other to provoke a war. Yeah, this is a pretty familiar theme. And, you know, like with the plot, everything in this film feels like a copy of a copy to me. And sad enough, it feels like a copy of better movies, you know. It makes me want to watch The Spy Who Loved Me. It makes me want to watch You Only Live Twice, because I think those are the better films, way better films. And yeah, they played it safe with this one. And they played it safe, you know, in every aspect of the film. And I don't think that's pretty great, you know. It's an interesting plot. I like the media mogul thing. Jonathan Pryce plays this media mogul, and I like how he manipulates politics and the minds of the people, and it's a pretty up-to-date topic when you think about it. Could be today. It was, you know, a little ahead of its time, maybe, and I love that about the film, but I don't really like Jonathan Pryce's portrayal of Elliot Carver. I like the actor. I loved him in Hitchcock films and stuff like that. But he portrays him in such a strange comedic way, I think. And I don't think that's the right approach. Gets me out of the film. It's a very strange choice. Yeah, he comes off it's like a comedy at times. But not in a good way. I think it's very strange. Same goes for his henchman, Stamper, played by Götz Otto. Sorry, my voice, Götz Otto. He famously said in a casting interview, he got those 3 famous sentences that got him the job. I'm German, I'm evil, and I'm blonde, or something like that. Something like that, correct me if I'm wrong. And that's a pretty funny line, of course, but is it enough? I don't think so. I think that's not enough, just being big and blonde and German and whatever. I think he's, again, a copy of a copy. I would even argue, it sounds a little mean, but I think he's a poor man's Necros, you know? I prefer Necros, for example, from The Living Daylights, who's one of the most menacing henchman in Bond history. That's a scary guy. He got a scary presence, amazing cold face expressions and whatever. And he's a really dangerous presence, and you fear for Bond because of the man. You are waiting for a confrontation because you can't wait what this guy will do to Bond. With Stamper, it's not nearly that exciting. His face expressions are silly. He's really not an actor at all, and he's not. I'm not scared or anything. He just comes off as a little goofy. I think a little silly, and I don't think that's exciting at all. He's like many things in this film, just I have to say it, a bad copy of better villains. Terry Hatcher is maybe my least favorite Bond girl in the series, along with Halle Berry. There's a little backstory between her character and Bond, and I don't get it. I don't believe it. There's a little drama going on, and they had a love affair once, but I don't feel it. Not even. I don't feel it at all. There's no chemistry between those two, between Pierce Brosnan and Terry Hatcher. There's absolutely zero chemistry, and I really don't like it. So those are, and the action. Okay, the action is pretty good at times, but there's something about the style of this film that bothers me. As I said at the beginning of this thing, I always had a feeling it's not as glamorous as other Bond films, and I know why that is. The way it's shot, there are no beautiful wide shots or anything. It's strange close-ups all the time, and there's a strange color grading. Everything seems to be so gray and uninteresting to me, and they wanted to give us a feeling of a little into the future. You got laser lights and whatever, but I think it doesn't work. It comes off as silly, and I don't like the visuals of the film. I don't like the look of the film, and is it the color grading and the way it's shot, and even the locations are not that exciting, I think. Maybe because I'm European, spending some time in Germany isn't that interesting for me. I'm a little guilty of being a style over substance guy. I admit that. So you get me, if there is a lack in storytelling or acting, you can compensate it with beautiful visuals. You always get me with those Skyfall, especially Goldfinger, beautiful looking films, and iconic looking films. And Tomorrow Never Dies, I think there's nothing iconic about it. It's only a copy of a copy. Very sad to say this. I know, maybe that's the rant some of you waited for. I don't know. I have to say I love all of those films, all of them, and I even love this film. I just don't love it as much as I love the other films. It's last in my ranking even. So, okay, what's positive about the film? I think Michelle Yeoh is pretty great. I think she's refreshing. She's a great partner for Bond. She's an agent herself, and I believe it. Not like with Halle Berry. Didn't believe she's an agent for 1 minute, 1 second. But I believe it with Michelle Yeoh. I was a fan already when this came out. I've seen her in many Asian films, in martial arts films, and amazing what she can do physically. Blew me away. But again, not in this film. They somehow waste her talent, and I don't get it. If you have seen some of her earlier work, some of her martial arts films, you know what she can do, what she's capable of. But you wouldn't knew if you have only seen her in this James Bond film, because she has nothing to do in terms of fighting and showing off her skills. I guess there's maybe one scene, which is maybe a minute or 2 minutes long, where she gets to show off a little of her skills, but that's it. And I think they wasted her talent. It's all again a very very strange choice, but she's great nevertheless. I think not only because of her skills, I like her presence and her charisma, and I think there was some chemistry between her and Pierce Brosnan. Yeah, I like her. I like the whole scenes in Vietnam. I know they were shot. I think they were shot in Thailand. I love this whole section of the film. Love the motorcycle chase, and especially love the jump from the tower, from the Carver Tower or whatever it's called. Those are my favorite scenes in the film. It's my favorite section of the film. I think the action is shot brilliantly. There's amazing motorcycle jump over a helicopter. Very well done. That's pretty great. I love this. I like the car chase in Germany, in the parking space and stuff like that. That's kind of funny. I like the Q scenes. Q is again very funny, and talking about chemistry between the actors, has great chemistry with Pierce Brosnan. I think this was the best team in the film. Desmond Llewellyn playing Q again. He had the best chemistry with Brosnan, better than with any of the other actors, I think. Maybe Connery comes close. So I like this about the film. I like Judi Dench is great as always. It's always great to see her. What else can I say? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think it's a copy of better films, and it makes me want to watch those older films. Yeah, the music. I have to talk about the music. The title track from Sheryl Crow is also pretty bland and kind of boring and kind of uninteresting, sadly, because I was a fan of her, and I'm still a fan of Sheryl Crow, but that's not a good track. I think they decided for the wrong track. You know, they had another one. I think this would have been the better choice. Yeah, I don't like it. It feels. I have to say it once again. It feels like a copy of better Bond tracks, better songs. David Arnold did the score for this film, and I know a lot of fans like this score a lot. I don't. I think it's a little overrated, to be honest. You know, I know they like. What's the theme called? While the car chase in Germany. That's a famous thing. Forgot the title. A lot of people like this. I don't. I don't like it at all. I cannot exactly tell you why. It's just not my thing. Yeah. So I guess I finally have said everything I had to say about this film. It's it's my least favorite of them all. I still watch it from time to time, you know, and sometimes you want to like a film. You know the feeling? When I came out of the cinema, I talked myself into liking it, because I couldn't accept the fact that I was a little bored, you know, because it's a Bond film. Of course, I have to like it, you know. So I was trying to get myself into the right kind of space, but yeah, didn't work very well. It's just not my film. I even, I mean, that's a pretty crazy thing to say, but I even prefer Die Another Day over this one. And Die Another Day is not the best Bond film, as we all know, but it excites me in some strange kind of ways, because it's so out of it, you know, because it's so crazy and so bad it's good at times, and that's a little more exciting than just a bland copy of better films. Yeah. So the only positives, I like the credits, the visuals. Those are beautiful. Those are even my favorite in the whole Brosnan era, I think. That's very well done. That I enjoy this a lot. Just watched it on YouTube, just for fun, because I think it's aesthetically very pleasing. I like the chase scenes in Vietnam, and I like the car chase. But that's about it. The rest of the film, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So, thank you for watching. Love you, love the Bond community, and see you very soon.